So thank you again, everyone, for coming. We have 3 panelists here today. This is a chance to chat with the experts on how to maintain overall good mental and physical health to help reduce stress for business owners. So I'd like to introduce Fidel Matthews from I Float in the County, as well as Pauline Caldaway from Rewired Learning, and as well as Kathy Martin from Pain Management and Wellness Solutions. So I'm going to lead this over to Fidel and chat a little about herself and I Float in the County.
So I Float in the County, we opened in December, and it is basically salt baths. It's sensory deprivation. We have 3 tanks. The tanks are filled with magnesium sulfate, 1,000 pounds. So as you float for the hour, you get to absorb the magnesium through your skin, which is the best form of absorption of magnesium. Magnesium is important for 300 different body functions, and in today's society we tend to not get enough magnesium on a daily basis due to our diets, as well as how our food is grown. We don't always have the right amount of magnesium in the soil. So magnesium is important for several different things that seem to be very popular nowadays. Fatigue is one of them, anxiety, depression, joint pain, muscle tension, headaches. So when we absorb the magnesium in the tank basically helps it soak through your skin in the water, but also the fact that magnesium is a water-soluble mineral, so we don't keep it. If we have enough today and we don't eat some more tomorrow, we actually don't retain it, just like vitamin C. So that is one of the most important things about the float tanks, is that the magnesium content is at 49%. Also, the salt is very therapeutic. It also helps when you're laying there to unload your spine. So your spine stretches in the tank. So that gives you also the fact of the unloading the joints. It's the only place you can feel weightless, except if you're in space. We have showers in the rooms. We are, during COVID, doing extra measures with wiping doorknobs, light switches, and everything in the room is yours for the hour, and you have your own room and your own tank. Basically for joint pain and any kind of muscle tension, when you get out of the tank, you always feel really relaxed. Your body feels relaxed. You feel really rejuvenated to enjoy the rest of your day. The tanks definitely are, you don't have to close the door if you don't want to. If you happen to be claustrophobic, you can leave them cracked a little bit. I also can put a heater in the room to keep you warm. So basically, we are located in Rossmore, next to Gilmore Meats, and definitely am excited to bring this to the county and the Belleville area. It is very, very good for stress relief, and we hope to see you guys all come and try it. We are going to do a draw at the end, so hopefully we can get somebody from your group to come in and try it in the next week. Are there any questions on flotation therapy?
So you're more than welcome to use the chat box if you don't feel like speaking. You can, type within the chat box if you have any questions at any point in time. I will let the speaker know, and we will get your questions answered. So, all right. So I'd like to also introduce our next speaker, Pauline from Rewired Learning.
Hey. So my name's Pauline, and I am a special education teacher. I'm also a member, an affiliate member of the Ontario Association of Mental Health Professionals. And just in sharing with you a little bit about rewired learning, I'm going to share my screen with you. And so I'm going to ask Brianna if she's willing to help me with that. Is this the time to share my screen, Brianna? Okay. So I am so thankful for the Small Business Center and the fact that they're putting this panel, that they put this panel together. They were instrumental in myself starting Rewired Learning in January of 2020. After attending a workshop, then I did further counseling with Luke, and I just can't say enough about how valuable that experience has been. And and we share this commonality of body-based approach to supporting our mental health. And so it's kind of exciting to come from teaching. I've been a teacher for 30 years, and just in the last 7 years, while working more in education, just finding more and more people struggling with their mental health. And so it was a year ago that I'm going to share my screen here, chose to actually take a year off and pursue some further training. And I enrolled in a biopsychosocial approach to counseling course online. And this picture that I have is worth 1,000 words, because this affirmation, lift your voice and your voice will lift the world, was something that I looked at for about a year before I actually made the decision to go for it and get further training. So just the benefits of putting these affirmations in front of you to motivate you in life on a day-to-day basis. The arm going across there, the chalkboard representing my role as a teacher, but something very significant happened while I was enrolled in the master's program. Everything was online, and I was spending so much time with my hand on the mouse and looking at the computer that I developed like tendonitis in my arm and inflammation. And it was very frustrating, and it caused me to actually step back from my program and what am I doing? Do I want to go through for counseling, or is there something else? And that's when I realized that my listening therapy, using music to change the brain and impact the body, was actually a really viable option to share with people. So in my own experience with listening therapy, I was able to reduce the inflammation in my arm, and it was a beautiful thing. And so this picture says a lot. So my desire was to be part of a solution to mental health in our community. Flourishing health is a desire. And so I have a website online, and it's called Rewired Learning. Obviously, that's my business, but boosting learning, confidence, and communication through listening therapy. And so believing that if people can be equipped with the tools that they need before they run into learning troubles, we're gonna be able to avoid a lot of mental health challenges. So the motto that I go with is that effective processing and regulation are foundational for health. So the way we process our environment through our eyes, our ears, what we feel, and then how we regulate our response impacts how healthy we feel. So the listening therapy that I'm able to share with people based on the science of Alfred Tomatis, and he was an eye, nose, and throat specialist in Paris, France. 60 years ago, he created the electronic ear. And he originally responded to opera singers who were losing the quality of their voice because of the sound of their voice. And what he found was in this therapy, by alternating between highs and lows, he could exercise the middle ear muscle and tone it up so that their hearing improved and their voice improved as well. That's where all of my listening therapy comes from, Tomatis. This is that there's 3 zones of listening, and so many of us have favorite songs that we listen to regulate ourselves. And what I do at Rewired Learning is help a person identify which zone are you having trouble in? Is it balance and rhythm? Is it your speech? Is it ability to read? Is it your motivation or enthusiasm? And so through an assessment, we can discern what is the area that you want to change, and then we apply the music within those hertz, within those zones, to stimulate the brain. So amazing thing is that our hearing and our movement balance vestibular is already fully developed in utero. So this is just a beautiful design of our ear sensory organ. And so the listening therapy comes in through bone conduction. So it penetrates this area here to get to the inner ear. And the 3 zones that I talked about, the first zone really works on this vestibular apparatus. And this is when a baby is spinning and spinning and spinning and developing that, that apparatus. And then from there is this cochlear, which is where all the different sounds that we hear are developed. And so right over here is our tympanic membrane. And when the sound is coming in through air conduction, that is one way to get our sound into the ear, but then by using bone conduction, we're able to come all the way around. The Safe and Sound Protocol is a 5-hour listening program that I offer. And since COVID started, Dr. Stephen Porges, and together with my parent company, Integrated Listening System, have made this listening therapy available through a digital app just to make it available to more people. And so that's been fantastic. And what happens is that I will invite someone to set up an account for the Safe and Sound Protocol. They download the app on their phone, and then they can begin listening. And what's happening through the listening is the stapedius muscle is that middle ear muscle. And when we clench our jaw under stress, it gets really tight and it inhibits our ability to listen. We don't realize this, but the Safe and Sound Protocol opens that up. And now, rather than hearing only low sounds, really high, we're going to hear the sounds that are higher, and the waves are much closer together. And so now we talked about effective processing and then regulation of your state. And Dr. Stephen Porges took 40 years to examine the vagus nerve. And this nerve starts up here in the brainstem and goes all the way through our body, heart, lungs, digestive system. And so what he was able to prove is that if our vagus nerve is not toned, then we can get stuck in certain states. And so the latter is an example of how you might always be in a sympathetic state, needing to fight or to flight or to run away. And, or we can be in a state of ventral, where we are open to communicate with people. And that's where the nerves of the throat and the face and the ears are all really important state. And then the third state is a dorsal, a shutdown state, kind of a giving up. And so it's really important that we have moved these 3 states. We cannot avoid being in one or the other, but it's important that we can transition. And so with the listening therapy, it is penetrating through this nervous system to support your state. What I'm trying to do now with Rewired Learning is educate people about this science and understanding of the importance of hearing, listening, and then how it impacts our whole body. So I've been networking with other practitioners. So a woman who lives in Colorado, her name is Autumn Romano. She's a massage therapist. She integrates this listening therapy into her practice. She senses the tenseness in people's bodies. And with this music, it's able to relax the person and also helping them to identify. And so she wrote a book with her son, and her husband supported as well, just showing different colors for those different stages on the ladder. And I'm sharing these tips with you in this presentation, but they're also available as a handout. The fact is, we can affect our stress levels using our mind to impact our body, and we can use our body to impact our mind. So someone who may struggle with, oh, I just can't journal, or I can't focus, then you start on this side and you work with the body and you relax the body. So Fidel, your eye float, right? Relaxing the body is a beautiful way to start. And just a promotion, like if you go to my website, there is a free guide to learn more about this whole idea, because I know it's a lot. Sound therapy is for the whole family. You rent one set of headset and all the family members can benefit. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Pauline. So the next person I would like to chat would be Kathy.
All right. And may I share my screen too?
Yes, I just need Pauline to.
Oh, hover over you.
So while we're waiting for that, my name is Kathy Morton and I own Pain and Wellness Solutions. I have an office now in Sterling, where people, where people can come and visit me. Oh, there we go. All right. So what I do is I have a few different therapies that I do. I do bone therapy, myoskeletal therapy, scar tissue release, and I'm also a Reiki master. So I have a motto. My motto is that the preservation of health is easier than the cure of the disease. And if you don't take time for yourself now, you will be forced to do it later and at a much higher cost to you. So bone and myoskeletal therapy has a harmonizing and a balancing effect on this nervous system. It's a holistic hands-on therapy where we treat the body as a whole. So I don't go by any name of a disease. I go by what your body is telling me where there's something wrong. So what it does is it triggers a whole body healing response by stimulating the nervous system. And by that, we create a balanced structure, which will eliminate the pull on fascia and bones and muscles. And by that, we reduce and eliminate pain because the body is now balanced and there's no stress on the body anywhere. So this all restores function to the body. It also can help bring more clarity to the mind so that you can rationally deal with all the stressors in our life and especially now with the pandemic going on, it's very hard for everybody. So with bone and myoskeletal therapy, it also puts your body into a state of rest and digest or rest and repair. And that's where our body can start to heal because you're out of that phase in your body where you want to fight or run away. So through assessments, I address the imbalances to the body to attain what we call tonal symmetry. So that's where we try and have even legs. So it has a direct or an indirect effect on all of our systems in our body, including our nervous system, digestive, circulatory, meridians, and so much more. The other part that I'll just touch base on, but I'm not going to focus on, is the scar tissue release. Scars can be very restrictive to the body, and its tissues can affect all your movements and meridian and chakra channels, which can create pain because there's no flow in the body because of the scar. Scars can also hold a lot of emotions depending on how you got the scar. So an example I gave is, say you were in a very bad car accident, and every time that scar can just bring back all those memories. So that's something that I also work on. Pain in the body can cause or be the cause of all your stress and anxiety. Pain can cause emotional and physical conditions like any pain, diseases, headaches. And when this happens, that's when our body says it's time to shut down and protect it. And we have to get past protecting our body so that we can fix it. So an example that I gave is, just say that you have a bare wire on your computer, and you'll notice your computer flicks on and off, and so the communication has broken down between what you want to do and and the computer. So what happens in our body is very similar to that. So with the Bowen and the myoskeletal therapy is I target where that breakage is in our body so that everything can communicate. So, you know, like if you get burnt, you get a signal right away that goes to the brain and says, ow, that hurts. So that's what we want to fix in the body. We also can have trapped emotions. It's not something that I go into deeply, but I truly believe that if you have trapped emotions or emotions that you can't get rid of, our body can stop repairing itself to a certain extent until we can get rid of that. So some other therapies that I suggest to help you further is, one is Reiki. And I would also suggest the I Float with Fidel Matthews and the Rewired Learning with Pauline Caldaway. So thank you very much for your time, and I'll give you back to Brianna.
Thank you, ladies, for describing a little bit about what you do and what you offer. All three of you combined, if you take a little bit of Fidel's business with I Float in the County, and then Pauline's with Rewired Learning, and then tie it again in with Kathy, it's a great combination. You guys really work well together. Even if you just take a little bit of information from each of the three ladies, we're going to get a little bit later on into tips that you can do from home, and hopefully that can inspire you to help with sometimes the mental block that you have when you're stuck at work and you're trying to manage, you know, you're trying to manage your business and your job or your family, your life at home, and sometimes you just need a little extra. I am for running always a little bit on the low side of, you know, your body, and my body's definitely telling me to slow down, but you just keep pushing through, right? So even on a regular day before this whole COVID-19 even happened, you still struggle on a day-to-day basis. If you don't, you're lying to yourself, because I don't even own my own business, and I do. But we're going to get into a little bit of tips of what each of these ladies they have to offer for you to kind of get you started. And if it's something that you're interested in, I definitely suggest to reach out to either Fidel, Pauline, or Kathy. So we'll go back into Fidel here and see if she has any tips for us to kind of work on at home to help with us.
Yes, thank you, Brianna. So I'm going to talk about 4 different tips. One, because we work on the computer a lot from home now, and some people are working from home, taking frequent breaks during the day to allow yourself to just sit for 10 minutes with no noise, no interaction, no screens is a good way to rejuvenate. Once you come back from your break, you feel better and you have more creative ideas. Also, another thing we have to think about is good food. We have to fuel our bodies with good food. We have to make sure that our bodies are, if you don't put good food in it, then you're not going to get the performance that you're expecting from your body. If we're constantly eating carbohydrates, it makes us sleepy. So we're, snack on good foods throughout the day. Have some snacks with like carrot sticks and celery and fresh vegetables, so you can snack on that while you work. Another thing is moving your body. it's so important to stay active. And you don't have to be a bodybuilder. You don't have to have a home gym. There's so many things in our home that we can use to keep our bodies healthy and strong. Go for a walk. You can take a stroll on the beach. We live in a beautiful area. You can even use things around your house to stay fit, like, you know, fill up some water bottles and use them as weight, 10-pound weights. If you fill up the water bottles, you can use those to do bicep curls, out to the side, over the shoulders. So be creative with your stuff that you have home to help you exercise and to stay fit. Another thing is just taking a few minutes and doing a few squats. You know, you can sit by your counter and squat down, get up and down off your chair. You could also do things around the house like stretching. Stretching is so important for our bodies, to keep our bodies supple, but also to stop the tension in our neck. When we're sitting at our computer a lot, we're tensing up. So take the time to think about your posture. Shoulders down and back, you know, good posture at the computer. You're slumped over all day, your shoulders are gonna hurt, your neck's gonna hurt. So think about standing up straight and having good posture, as well as taking time to take a break. Also, the last one we're gonna talk about is just give yourself permission to escape once in a while from your work, from your family, from your friends, and be alone. It takes a few minutes to just unplug from everything and take those minutes to reflect on what are your accomplishments that you've done during the day, or what are your goals. Think about, you know, COVID is here and we have to go through it. We can't go around it. So what is my plan to get to the other side healthy and happy? And those are my 4. So I'll pass it over to the other girls.
Pauline, would you like to go next?
Sure. So it's very interesting that today is the second day of being in the classroom again at school. The school that I'm working at right now is back. And so wearing these masks is a reality. I'll take it off so my voice is clear. But what I've noticed from wearing is that my face is not moving as much. So it's really important to massage your face, and like even behind, I'm very much the ears. And so encouraging take time to massage your face and behind your ears. We're told not to touch our face, something that's done at home. We're told to wash our hands. And earlier I was mentioning that we can have top-down, bottom-up approach to calming and relaxing. So body-based mindfulness is something that I picked up from Autumn Romano, the book Body Wisdom. And she encourages people to try to, when they're washing their hands, to really feel and take into consideration, like you're massaging your hands. And this is actually stimulating multiple areas of the brain. The fingers, the hands are involved in many, many parts of our life. And so there's a lot of mapping in our brain. So this is, you're doing yourself a favor. Also, another exercise, it's called hookups, and it's a brain gym exercise. So rather, you've got your hands hooked this way, but you actually extend out in front and then down, and then we come back and we rest our hands against our chest. And right now they are the artery that comes out of the heart going to the brain. So we're now really maximizing this blood flow to the brain. And as you're resting your hands on your chest, you're thinking about your breathing. Am I breathing from my chest? Or am I breathing from my stomach, my diaphragm? So then you just take a minute or whatever and just like really focus on how you're breathing. And breathing through our nose, of course, is better. And some people have obstruction and it doesn't work so easily, but to really make an effort to encourage people to breathe through your nose And extending the exhale is also really important, because when we're bringing on that parasympathetic system and the rest and digest. And so it's so fascinating that when we sing or hum, we are extending the exhale. So I've noticed that you can hum with your mask on. So hum along to your songs. You're creating vibration along the nerves, along the vagus nerve. It's impacting three organs, your ears, your eyes. I didn't mention we breathe with our ears. That vestibular apparatus is actually impacting eye movement. So when we're good to our ears, it affects our other organs as well. That's probably all for me for now.
Fantastic. And then Kathy, your turn.
Please.
Did you want to share your screen, Kathy?
Yes, please.
Okay, I will do that for you.
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
So I have a little bit of a list, but I'll probably focus on a couple. It's really good to try and take time for ourselves, and you have to consciously make that time for yourself in order to make yourself, sorry, I can't talk and do two things at once. So if you consciously take time for yourself, you can make yourself feel better, you know, through therapies and at home. So I do have some links that I'll be giving to Brianna that she can share with you. So there's a muscle release for tension in our body, where we release every part of our body, our toes, our legs, our arms, our trunks, our face, our jaw, and you wouldn't believe how much tension that we hold in our jaws all the time. So it's really good, and it takes you about 5 to 10 minutes to do it. So it's something that's quick, easy, and simple. Alternate nostril breathing. Have to find my, so I don't have it up here on my share, but anyways, if you Google or go onto YouTube, you can find programs where they show you how to alternate your breathing. So you'll breathe through one side to a count of 4. You plug that side and you exhale and let your belly drop through the other side. So alternate nostril breathing is very, very good. It helps you with stress. It helps you relax. It actually will help stimulate the vagus nerve that Pauline was talking about. And it's really good for headaches as well. Something else that I love that goes well with Bowen is restorative yoga, because your poses are held longer, and it just helps you melt into that state of relaxation. Meditation is also one, again, if you Google, you can find 5-minute guided meditations, so you don't need to know how to do it. They can help teach you how to do it. My favorite is connecting with nature. I love going out into the woods and I sit there and I breathe and I just focus on what I'm looking at. And again, the stress just kind of melts away. And one of the exercises that I give my clients all the time is called a plate exercise. And I'm sorry that I tried to have the video up here so that you could see what it is, but I'll give Brianna the link to it. So what it does is it helps to reduce dural tension. So it affects the nervous, structural, muscular, endocrine, and all the organs of the body that are intimately associated with the dura mater and the fascia. And abnormal tension in these places are great to get rid of all the stress and to help out any of the systems that are listed above. So those are my little tips for you today. Thank you.
Thank you, words. Thank you very much, ladies, Kathy, Pauline, and Fidel. Any of the participants here, if you have any questions at all, now is a great time to ask. You've got 3 experts here. If you have any questions or if you're interested in making an appointment, I will be sending out their contact information to you once this webinar is over. So if you have any questions at all, I suggest you ask them now. I'll start off. I have had some experience with Bowen, Kathy, but I don't know if everyone else knows much about Bowen. What's the difference between Bowen and, say, like massage therapy, chiropractic, or like osteo?
Yeah, so Bowen is different, that it's holistic and it's hands-on, and the type of Bowen that I do is I target to find the root cause of what's going on. It's not a deep tissue therapy like massage, and I don't crack bones like a chiropractor. A lot of people that have done it that say to me, if I ever had to explain this to anybody else, it's like a light massage and osteopath put together. So that's kind of a way that I can describe it. But it's very, very different than any other therapy out there. And the best way is to come and try it. I do give free consultations as well, with about a 10-minute work done on the body, so that you can feel what it is and how your body reacts to it. So that's the biggest thing, is that I look for the root cause of what's going on, although that our bodies can have layers and layers of things that are wrong, and we may have to peel those layers off bits by bits, but we do look for the root cause in order to keep your body in balance.
Awesome, thank you. Does anyone have any other questions? I have a few awesome comments. J.M. Robertson says, thank you very much. Very valuable information, especially now. Reception said, thank you for sharing all this information during this pandemic. If we don't have any other questions, or you don't feel comfortable sharing them now, again, I will give all of the participants the panelists' contact information. So if you do wish to reach out, you are more than welcome to do so with all the tips that they gave out. I think I have some other information as well. They all gave me a lot of information, so bear with me. I have to compile it all. Since we are at the end of the webinar, is there anything else that the panelists would wish to chat about at all, or I think we're all good?
Well, I'd just like to thank everybody that came today to listen. It's been very exciting, and I even went away with some great information from the other ladies.
Awesome. And then Nellie said, thank you very much. I would love to get their contact information after the webinar. Yes, Nellie, I will definitely do that for you. So as promised, I did mention that both Kathy and Fidel, so that's iFloat in the county, and Pain Management and Wellness Solutions, they both offered a free, one is a free float, the one is a free session. I have written down everyone's name that was written on there. So however your name was written on your Zoom account, I have put all of the names in my Christmas mug, since we're almost at Christmas. No, I'm judging. I'm shaking it all up. There is another Luke Fournier in there. He's my coworker. He's not allowed to win.
No, Luke has a free one. He won't come in.
All right, so this is going to be for Fidel, for iFloat in the county, and the name is Jane Hogdenham. So
congratulations.
Congrats. If you could just put your email in the group chat, Jane, that would be awesome. And then I will give the.
I happen to know that person. Is
You do?
Jasper.
Oh, okay, Jasper.
Yeah,
His name's
Jasper.
Jasper?
So fantastic.
Okay. I figured, I'm like, it looked like a male, so I couldn't quite see.
Yeah.
All right, and then now it's Kathy's turn. Just shaking it up again in my mug. And Nellie. So Nellie, I have Nellie's call.
Congratulations.
And I will give Nellie's information to you, Kathy. All right, I'm gonna write this down now so I don't forget. Okay, and also want to let you guys know too, Pauline also offers free consultations as well. So if you just want to come in, sit down, and chat, and if you see that's right fit for you, definitely check her out. Definitely, I will give everyone the information, and this also will be available. This has been recorded, so it's available online later on, hopefully today, once I get it uploaded. All right. Thanks everyone for coming out. I really appreciate everyone coming out and listening to these three experts.
Thank you.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Brianna. Great job.
Thanks.
Great to be here.